Oh my god, it's your boy Young Gra, and I'm here with some NBA 2K gameplay. And this is part 2 to my story time. As you remember probably, I was talking about how, squads can be this is squad or now part 2 basically. And this is last time we left off, if you had seen my first video, I basically had talked about how these dudes had approached my friends and asked them, if they was cool or if they were a part of any other squad. And you know the names of the squads and everything, so it's no need to repeat it. And my friend, who is like the biggest of all of them, he was asked that question, and he basically said he knew. Yes, he did know one of them, which was dumb on his side, but you can't really change nothing. So that's basically what happened, and the dudes had jumped them. It was a lot more of them than it was us or the my friend. So what they ended up doing was, they had to fight, and they had said that one of my friends, the big one, he had to go to the hospital. His lip was busted. Then the other big friend, he had his arm sprained, and I guess everybody went home with somewhat of an injury. Whoever was there to fight, and I guess it had been a big interpretation, like misconstrued with who was with what, and nobody was basically safe. You know what I mean? And I guess that's what started the rumors thinking that we were gangs, and it really, I guess, carried all through that one day, which I guess you could probably see as to why that would happen. I mean, a whole squad of people, and we calling ourselves Cash Team and all of that stuff. You got the other ones, and you got Cash Team, which was, I guess you could say, one of the more just chill like squads. At the time, squad was a popular name or a popular thing to call a group of friends. So I guess that's why we was just like going with the flow with that, and that's what had happened. So then the next day, I'm guessing stuff was said. It got involved with staff members and everything, and staff members ended up finding out. Students ended up finding out. You had a lot of students to, like, a lot of things had came to me, and a lot of questions were asked to me, like, were you the ones who set them up because you had left right before everything had went down? And like, were you afraid? Did you know this was gonna happen? And I was basically like one of the most confused out of everybody, because people had thought I actually left and had set them up, which in the case it was the exact opposite. Like, I really didn't know what was going on, and it was like this one feeling that I was like, I shouldn't even trust this, and it was like my conscience was basically telling me, like, get out of there. I guess already warning me before it actually happened that something was gonna happen. It just felt like stuff didn't feel right. Usually people always get that sense, but at the time, I'm guessing my friends or my squad at the time didn't actually know. They didn't have that sense or feel. So or maybe they did, but they just ignored it. And me, I didn't want to ignore mine, because I seen these group of dudes and they bigger than us. So I'm like, all some gotta do, like, not even thinking they could be a game, but if something went wrong, like if we played them in a game or something, stuff got heated and things was said, anything could have happened. They don't even have to be gang members for them to fight us. I mean, and we was like little kids at the time. I was in 7th grade. I was small. Like, I was 5'6", about as tall as the girl who was in our squad. And for confidential reasons, I'm not gonna say names, because that wouldn't make sense to just give names out. But I guess a lot of things started tying to me, and I was really confused. And then days and days had went by, and with people was asking me if anything, like what all had happened. And then staff member was notified, and rumors had went around that if you had anything to do with it, or if you were one of the 3 squad members at the time, or any the gang members, as staff member called it, because they tended to exaggerate anything that had happened in that school that I was in. So they called it gang members. They said we would be expelled, and it, like, they just skip a suspension or a phone call home. You were expelled. And some of the kids, they knew that it couldn't have been possible, or maybe they weren't doing anything that badly, so they just notified their parents. And I was that one kid, because I didn't, at the time, I didn't really look intimidated. I was only 5'6". Again, I wore glasses, like the Poindexter glasses. I had wore those, and I had a uniform on. What's so intimidating about that? You know what I mean? And they had, let my mom know. She seemed confused, and she knew it was a discrepancy in that. And they was basically telling her, these gangs is targeting your son and everything. That was a no-no for her. Which, if you want me to, I'll go into a different time again. But then, long story short, the games was basically ended, and as you see, I was trying to glitch that court. But the games basically got ended. The squad, and we stayed as a